What if the fear you've been running from your entire life was never real? What if every sleepless night, every wave of anxiety that crushed your chest, every moment of paralysis was your own mind turning against itself? You weren't built to live like this. Somewhere beneath the tension and the overthinking, there is a version of you that does not break. Here's the question that should stop you cold. What would your life look like if fear had absolutely no power over you? Stay right here. What you are about to discover changed entire empires, and it will change you. Not every man who finds this video is ready for it. Some will leave. Some will not and do nothing. But you stayed. And that is the first signal. There's a war happening inside you, and part of you is tired of losing it. This video is not content. It is a turning point. These 10 Stoic principles are about to restructure how you think, how you respond, and who you decide to become. The man you've been trying to reach, the unshaken, unafraid, undeniable version of yourself. This is where he begins to take shape. By the end of this, you will have 10 Stoic weapons to dismantle your fear, silence your anxiety, and rebuild your identity from the foundation up. These principles were lived, not written, by men who faced war, exile, slavery, and death without flinching. This is battle-tested philosophy, not motivational noise. Before we go any further, drop the word unshaken in the comments right now. It tells me you mean it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. This channel exists for men who are done living small. Let's begin. With a sword. It arrives through your screen, your silence, your comparisons, your regrets. Modern men are the most distracted and most afraid generation in recorded history, yet no one admits it. Everyone performs strength. No one actually builds it. The ancient Stoics lived through war, plague, and empire collapse, and they remained unshaken through all of it. Their philosophy is not outdated wisdom gathering dust. It is exactly the weapon this broken, distracted, fear-soaked world needs right now. And you are about to carry it. Principle 1. The Dichotomy of Control. The first principle cuts fear at its root. Fear lives in one territory only, things you cannot control. The opinions of others. The past, the future. What might happen? Marcus Aurelius drew the line plainly. Some things are in our power, some are not. Most men burn their entire emotional energy fighting what was never theirs to fight. The moment you learn to separate what you can control from what you cannot, everything shifts. Ask yourself every morning, is this mine to carry? If not, set it down. That is the discipline. That is where freedom begins. 90% of your anxiety lives in things that never belong to you. Principle 2. Amor Fati. Love your fate. Don't skip this part. This principle separates men who grow from men who collapse. Amor Fati. Love your fate. Not tolerate it. Not endure it. Love it. Every failure, every setback, every painful season is not punishment. It is raw material. The Stoics understood that resistance to reality is the source of all suffering. Your fear feeds on resistance. The moment you stop fighting what is and start owning it completely, fear loses its grip. It has nothing left to hold. You become the immovable center of your own storm. This is not surrender. This is power. Principle 3. Premeditatio malorum. Premeditation of evil. Here's where it gets deeply psychological. Anxiety is your brain rehearsing disaster without your permission. The Stoics had a direct answer. Premeditatio malorum. The deliberate premeditation of worst-case scenarios. You imagine the worst that could happen. Not to spiral, but to strip it of its power over you. When you stare the wolf in the eye, it stops hunting you in the dark. If this hits you, drop Stoic Wolf in the comments right now. Most men avoid thinking about failure because it terrifies them. The Stoic walks toward it mentally, prepares for it, and then faces real life without trembling. Fear vanishes when you've already faced it. Principle 4. Live in the present moment. Anxiety lives in the future. Regret lives in the past. Neither of them lives here. Right now in this breath, what is actually wrong? The mind fully rooted in the present moment cannot be anxious. Marcus Aurelius wrote it plainly. Confine yourself to the present. Not as soft philosophy, as survival strategy. Every time fear pulls you forward into imagined catastrophe, you abandon the only territory where you hold real power. Return every single time over months. This practice rewires your nervous system completely. You stop being a prisoner of time you have never lived. The present is the only ground that is real. Principle 5. The view from above. Here's something that will reshape your entire relationship with problems. The Stoics practice stepping back, seeing life from a cosmic height. Your fear seems colossal up close. From a distance, it is a speck in an infinite universe. The anxiety about your status, your failures, your mistakes, the universe does not flinch. This is not nihilism. This is liberation. When you zoom out, your problems don't disappear. They shrink to their actual size. And you remember who you are. A conscious being with the power to respond, to choose, and arise. That clarity alone destroys half your fear immediately. Principle 6. Virtue is the only true good. Are you chasing the wrong things? Most anxiety is born from chasing external results, money, approval, status, comfort. The Stoics were radical about this. Virtue is the only real good. Courage, wisdom, justice, discipline. Not outcomes. Not possessions. The man who builds his identity on things that can be taken away lives in permanent terror of losing them. The man who builds on character cannot be robbed. He cannot be broken by rejection or failure because his foundation is internal, not external. Shift your definition of success from what you have to who you are. Watch your anxiety starve. Virtue cannot be stolen from you. It is yours forever. Principle 7. The obstacle is the way. Every obstacle you face is not a sign to stop. It is a signal pointing exactly where you need to go. Marcus Aurelius stated it precisely. The impediment to action advances action. What blocks the road becomes the road. Fear is not the opposite of growth. It is the door to it. The man who runs from every hard thing stays permanently small. The man who turns toward obstacles becomes formidable over time. Most men ignore this principle entirely and pay for it with a life half lived. When you reframe hardship as a training ground, your nervous system stops producing panic and starts producing focus. That is transformation at the neurological level. Principle 8. Memento mori. Remember death. This sounds dark. It is the most clarifying truth in existence. Memento mori, you will die. Not as morbidity, as precision. The Stoics kept this truth close because it dissolves trivial fear instantly. You're afraid of failure? You will die. You're paralyzed by judgment? You will die. Death is the great equalizer and the ultimate deadline. When you fully internalize your mortality, you stop wasting days in fear and start spending them in action. Life becomes urgent. Fear becomes irrelevant. This moment becomes sacred. Most men ignore this their entire lives. That is exactly why most men stay afraid. Principle 9. Negative visualization. Feel the loss first. Here's a principle most modern men have never heard of, and it will permanently alter how you value what you have. The Stoics practiced deliberately imagining the loss of everything they loved. Their health, their relationships, their freedom. Not to become pessimistic, but to obliterate complacency and entitlement. Entitlement is where anxiety breeds. Gratitude is where anxiety starves. When you visualize loss before it arrives, you stop taking your life for granted and start protecting it with intention. Fear of loss is replaced by fierce appreciation for what is. That shift alone removes an enormous weight from your chest. Feel the loss. Then choose to live fully. Principle 10. Self-mastery over everything. The final principle is this: you cannot lead the world if you cannot lead yourself. Epictetus, a slave who became one of history's greatest philosophical minds, taught that true freedom is internal. Not the freedom to go anywhere, the freedom to remain unshaken everywhere. The man who masters his impulses, his reactions, his fears, is more powerful than any king who hasn't. Self-mastery is not restriction. It is the highest expression of self-respect. Begin with your morning, your mind, your words. One small discipline at a time. Empire begins within. This is where unshakable men are built from the ground up. Now you've just walked through 10 Stoic weapons. But here is the truth most men will never act on. Knowing is not the same as becoming. Most men who watch this today will feel inspired for 20 minutes and then return to the same patterns, the same fears, the same quiet paralysis that has followed them for years. But not you. You stayed through every principle. You listened when it got uncomfortable. And something in you shifted. You can feel it. What you carry from this video forward is not just knowledge. It is the beginning of a completely different man emerging. Here is what no one tells you about fear. Fear doesn't leave because you get braver. Fear loses its power the moment you become someone it no longer recognizes. When your identity shifts, when you stop being the man who flinches and start being the man who moves, fear has no target left. The Stoics didn't eliminate fear. They built themselves so completely that fear became irrelevant. And that is exactly what you are doing right now. Every principle you absorb. Every morning you choose discipline over comfort. Every moment you choose response over reaction. You are constructing the man that fear cannot touch. The pain you've carried, the sleepless nights, the self-doubt, the quiet shame you've never said out loud, none of it was wasted. It was the forge. It was always the forge. You were always being built for this moment. Now you rise, unshaken, unmoved, unbroken. If something genuinely shifted in you today, if one principle landed in a place that needed it, drop one word in the comments right now: unbroken. Not for me, for you, so you can look back at this exact moment and remember when you decided to stop living in fear. Subscribe to this channel if you want more Stoic wisdom that actually changes how you think, how you act, and who you are at your core. And share this video with one man in your life who needs to hear it today. You don't know what someone else is carrying. Go, the work begins now.